Swali yangu siku ya leo Mr. President, nikiwa nimesimama kwa hii congregation, nauliza aje. Mimi mtu akona 46, mama Mboga, sijapata kazi kwa vijana, sijabenefiti kwa pesa ya uzee, sijaenda majuu. Niko wapi kwa hii kazi? Watoto wangu, ukikumbuka wakati ya siasa pale Karen nilikuambia social yangu hakusoma, mama yangu hakusoma, mimi sikusoma. Bado niko huku. Mr. President, najifunia kuwa kwa hii serikali. Na nakupenda sana kama president wangu, mwenye nilipiga magoti sana nikaombea. Sisi mama Mboga tuko wapi?
Asante sana Esther. Nitakwambia wewe kama mama Mboga mambo matano. Ndio? Kwa sababu wewe uko na mtoto. Ndio? Si uko na watoto? Umebarikiwa na Mungu, uko na watoto. So kama wewe hujapata kazi, ujipange ndio mtoto wako tupangane na yeye apate kazi. Si namna hiyo? Mtu wako hapo utapangana na yeye ako hapo. That is number 1. Number 2, unajua tulikubaliana ya kwamba mama Mboga pia atafanya kazi mahali kuna heshima. Tutahakikisha tutajenga soko. Tuhakikisha kwamba kina mama Mboga wanafanya kazi. As I talk to you, nikiongea na wewe, tunajenga saa hizi soko 200 Kenya ya kina mama Mboga. And most of them are actually in the process of completion. In fact, nitauliza governor wa Nairobi, kwa sababu si unatoka Nairobi? Nitauliza governor wa Nairobi aniambie mahali tuko kwa hiyo mpango yetu ya soko. Ngoja kidogo Senator, Governor Sakaja, just so number 1. So wewe uko hapo utafanya kazi mahali kuna heshima. Number 3, katika mpango yetu ya afya, mama Mboga hakuwa kwa mpango ya afya kwa sababu NHIF ilikuwa ni number 1, watu wenye wanafanya kazi. Number 2, watu wenye wako na uwezo. Lakini sasa kwa hii mpango ambayo tuko nayo ya Taifa Care, wewe Esther, sasa uko na nafasi ya kuwa na bima ya afya as a person. Hii Taifa Care ina recognize mama Mboga, na kwamba wewe pia sasa utakuwa na nafasi ya kuwa na bima ya afya. Utaenda hospitali, mtoto wako atatibiwa na hakuna malipo yoyote utalipa. Hiyo ni number 3. Sawa sawa? Number 4. Najaribu kupanga mahali huko kwa hii mpango hii. Number 4. Pale katika mpango ya housing, kwa sababu umeniambia mahali unaishi, si ndio? Pale kwa muda mrefu nyumba haina maji, nyumba haina choo, hakuna stima, hakuna barabara. Katika mpango yetu ya affordable housing, na umesikia ule jamaa wa affordable housing aliongea hapa. Did somebody speak about affordable housing here? No, we're going to talk about it. I know there is somebody from affordable housing. Sasa wewe kama mama Mboga uko na nafasi ukijiandikisha kwa boma yangu. Sasa wewe utakuwa na nafasi ya kuwa home owner. Hapo nyuma ilikuwa ili upate nyumba lazima uwe tayari kulipa 20,000, 30,000, 50,000. Lakini kwa hii Nairobi sasa utapata nafasi ya kuwa mwenye nyumba na kati ya shilingi 3,000 ama shilingi 5,000 yenye utalipa kila mwezi under our affordable housing program. Kwa sababu tumesema we want to make home ownership, dignify our people with home ownership. Now mama mboga kama wewe anaweza kuwa na nyumba yake, sio ya kukodesha, nyumba yake ambaye ataishi na iwe yake kwa kulipa pesa kidogo. So these are some of the things we are doing to make sure that we cover everybody. Yeah. So those are among the things I can tell you as we go forward.
My name is Peter Ogutu, a student at the Technical University of Kenya.
Yes,
I have a question to you, Mr. President. Recently, we witnessed a move by the Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Alfred Mutua, where he facilitated the exportation of Kenyan skilled energetic labor to external markets for job opportunities. A good move that we appreciate, but doesn't that move leave the Kenyan economy at a bad place with the deprived skilled labor and or stressed skilled labor that cannot meet its potential? A good example is the medical sector, where we have fewer doctors attending to numerous patients, yet these doctors and nurses still form part and parcel of the skilled labor that are being exported to external market for employment. Thank you.
Alfred, do you want to answer that question? It's a very good question from Mr. Ogutu.
When you look at doctors and nurses, it is not that we do not have enough doctors or nurses being produced. Yes, the numbers are not where we are in terms of United Nations numbers, WHO, of the number per people. It's that we do not have the capacity at this time to absorb all of them. So I see where you're coming up with your point. But I also want to change the mentality where we think that there is what people are thinking of brain drain. What is happening is this. You have, for example, in the ICT sector, a huge number of people that are ready to work, that even if we sent away 100,000 people in ICT, we would still leave this country with so many other people, 500,000, who are still looking for employment. So that thinking that if we are sending people away, we are depriving our country, is not really accurate, because we have more people out of work who can go and work overseas without depriving our Kenyan local market. In our labor studies, we have not seen any cry by any industry saying that they are lacking people because people have left the country. We are producing people in TVETs, producing people in the universities, so we have a bulge of employment. If you look at the countries that have really developed very fast, you look at, for example, the example of Singapore, China, Malaysia, Indonesia. What they did, these tiger economies, was to ensure that their people who went and worked overseas came back home. We are calling this labor mobility because when you're going to work, it doesn't mean that you're going forever. You're going to work for 2-3 years and come back. What we have realized is that when you go overseas, you're able to gain skills. When His Excellency was in Germany, we were talking about Kenyans going to work to produce the German vehicles. So you go to Germany as an engineer, you produce the vehicles for 2 to 3 years, then you come back home. What happens? You're bringing back new talent. Kenya is actually getting brain gain. You're bringing new ways of doing things. When you talk to the construction industry, for example, construction industry are now looking for people who have worked overseas. If you are a plumber, if you are a mason, if you are an interior designer and you have worked in Dubai, the big companies working in Kenya want to employ you because your skills are a bit higher than the market, than the population in Kenya that is competing with you for the job market, because you have gained new skills. When you go to the UK as a nurse, you go to the US as a doctor, and you gain new skills in those hospitals that you're working in the US or in Italy and other places. When you come back, you're hot cake because of the brain gain.
My name is Felix Chege. I run a company called Real Sources Africa. First, I'd start by commending your efforts on making the African Free Continental Trade Area work. I have been one of the beneficiaries of it. Being a beneficiary means that we got appointed by the AFCFTA Secretariat as a trading company on behalf of Kenya. And what we've been doing is that we've been supporting aggregation exercises for export. As late as a few weeks ago, we launched a Trade Connect initiative, an initiative that looks at shipping 1,000 containers over a period of 12 months to 5 African countries. And we've seen a lot of support from financial institutions in structuring of trade finance elements or instruments that are meant to promote inter-Africa trade in terms of aggregation. And at the same time, we've been able to do market development campaigns to be able to promote African or Kenyan manufactured products across the continent. Our main ask is investment more in market development campaigns. We have a lot of African countries that don't know what we actually manufacture as a country, and we've realized that this information is really important when it comes to providing an alternative of the products that we can ship to the export market within the African context. Other than that is using the products themselves as a collateral for transactions. We've been able to work around an aspect of how can we get our manufacturers to use the products that they manufacture as a collateral when going to the export market. We're looking at, or our ask could be, how can we use the credit guarantee scheme that you have already initiated to convert it to be an export guarantee line that can be used by our manufacturers to be able to guarantee them payments after they ship their products. Other than that, I thank you for really looking into the protocol on youth and women in trade. And we've leveraged on that to be able to access a lot in terms of just opening doors at the Secretariat. I'm a 27-year-old, and I'm privileged to be among the people who represent this country at the Secretariat.
Thank you very much, Mr. Did so well that you've given me some homework to do on some aspects. And I will take back the homework and see what we can do better. But congratulations on what you're doing on behalf of many young people in Kenya, taking advantage of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. It's a market of 1.4 billion people, and Kenya needs to move full speed and take its space and place in that market so that we can better leverage the market infrastructure that exists in the Africa Continental Free Trade Area to benefit our own enterprises and our own people. Of the 1.5 million people who today will have their credit limits enhanced, the highest being from 50,000 to 150,000, there is another 4 million borrowers who must be listening to me this evening. These 4 million borrowers have maybe an outstanding amount. Maybe they have not paid on time. Maybe they have exceeded, instead of 14 days, they are at 45 days, or they are at 30 days. If they pay, these 4 million borrowers, if they pay their outstanding, the window for them to be moved to the bridge loan, which then doubles or triples their credit limit, exists. So the 4 million people out there who have not paid their money, you have a chance. We're going to assess you. Once you pay, we're going to assess you for 2 months, and then we will graduate you to the bridge loan. We want many to come on board. As you are aware, the whole Hustler Fund intervention was to remove the penalization, the blacklisting, the condemnation of people, but to give them a chance to improve on their credit rating. And that is what we intend to achieve.